Hey guys, welcome back. So this week we have 4 lessons for you guys to take and do. So 4 different sets of practice problems for you guys to get submitted. Hopefully won't be too bad. We're dealing more with the coordinate plane, as you can see by what's here on my screen. So we'll go ahead and get started. You guys have been doing an awesome job of getting the keywords turned in and your lessons turned in a very timely manner. So great job, you guys. Super proud of you. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So what we're looking at today is the coordinate plane, but we're looking specifically at distances in the coordinate plane. So we're going to be looking a lot with distance. So if we look at what's on our screen here, so we want to write the coordinates of each point. So let's start with point A. We look for our x value first. So we go over to the right 4 units. And then, sorry, we should put that. So 4 is our x coordinate, and then from there we're going up 1, 2, 3. So our y coordinate is 3. So we have the point 4, 3 for A. For B, we're also over 4 on the x-axis. So I'm going to write B over here just so we can see it. There we go. 4, and then instead of going up, we're going down 1, 2, 3. So we're at -3. So we're at -3 for B. Now for C, we're going to go over to the right 3. So we've got a +3 for our x value. And then we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're down at -5 for our y value. So remember, if you go down on the y-axis, it's going to give you a negative value. If you go to the left on the x-axis, it'll give you a negative value. Up on the y-axis is positive, and right on the y-axis, or on the x-axis, sorry, is also positive. So remember your different directions and what sort of coordinates you have. All right, so D, we're going over to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at a -4 for our x value of D. And then we go down 1, 2, 3. So we're at -4, -3. So both of them are negative on this one. And then for E, we're over to the left 5. So once again, another negative value for us. And then we go up 1, 2, 3. So this time we have a positive y coordinate. So there are all our coordinates. Now we're going to take and use those for the next few questions. So let me pull the camera or this video back up here. All right. So for question 2, which you guys can't see on there, but that's why I have it here. It says, answer these questions for each pair of points. How are the coordinates the same? How are they different? How far away are they from the y-axis, to the left or to the right? And how far away are they from the x-axis, to above or below? Yes. Okay, so looking at this, the first pairing that we have is A and B. So we're looking at points A and points B. So point A, remember, is the coordinate 4, 3. Point B is the coordinate for -3. So what do they have in common? Same x coordinate. Excellent. So same x, x coordinate. Excellent. What is different then? Sorry, you can't see that. So what's different then? The y coordinate, they're what? Are they the same? Are they different numbers? Are they opposites? Yes, they're opposites. So y coordinate opposites. Hoping you guys can see this. Yes, okay. So our x coordinates are the same, our y coordinates are opposites. So that looks at how are they same, how are they different. So how far away are they from the y-axis? So remember, when we're thinking about the y-axis, that's the vertical axis. So how far from the y-axis is A? So how far over do we have to go to get back there? Yeah, we're going 4 over. So 4 units, and same thing for B. So 4 units from y-axis, And is it to the left or to the right of the y-axis? It's to the right. Excellent, because they're both on that positive side, remember? All right, and then for the third question, it's asking how far away are they from the x-axis? Are they above or below? So looking back, A is how far from the x-axis. So remember, x is the horizontal. It's 3, excellent. And how far is B? It's also 3, but what's different about them? A is above, B is below. So A is 3 above, and B is 3 below. So we're just looking at comparing and seeing how far things are and being able to count those distances. All right, so for B and D, so remember B and D. So B has the coordinate 4, -3, just like we were dealing with, and D has the coordinate -4, -3. So what's the same? What's different? So they have the same y coordinate. Excellent. What's different? The x coordinates are opposite. Excellent. X coordinates opposite. Fantastic. Put that a little closer so you can see. All right, what else? So how far are they from the y-axis? So remember, that is looking at our x value. So our x value shows us how far they are from the y-axis, because that's the left and right. So B is 4 to the left or to the right? 4 units to the right. And D is 4 units left, because it's going to the negative side. Excellent. All right, and looking at how far are they from the x-axis? So they're both, how far? They're both down at what y value? -3. So they're both 3. Both 3. Are they above or below? Below x-axis. Excellent. All right, and next two, and our last one for this part, is looking at A and D. So for A, remember, A is the point 4, 3, and D is the point -4, -3. So what do they have in common? Kind of nothing, right? They're both, the x and y coordinates are both what? They're both opposites. So x and y coordinates opposites. Excellent. So they don't really have a similarity there, aside from the fact that the numbers are the same, but they're different signs. So for how far are they from the y-axis? So that's looking at our x value. So A was at +4, D was at -4, so that means they're both 4 units. So A, 4 units. And is it from the right or left of the y-axis? Right. Right. And D is 4 units left. Excellent. And the last part of this is how far are they from the x-axis? So remember, that's our y values. So once again, they're opposites. So that means A is, what was our y coordinate? 3. Excellent. So 3 units above or below? Above. And D is 3 units below. Excellent. So this is all about taking and being able to see where things are at in the coordinate plane and understand how you move about going from one point to another, their relationship between x and y axes, and distances. So really focusing on how far things are from certain places. So in this, we were comparing how far they are from the x and y axis to each other. So keyword for this lesson is distance. So make sure you get that and have it submitted on Canvas. It is those 10 points. So keyword is distance. All right, our next question, still looking at this graph here. It says point F has the same coordinates as point C. So let's take a look. Point C was 3, -5, except its y coordinate has the opposite sign. So what does that mean for the y coordinate then? If it's opposite of -5, that means it's +5. So, whoops, didn't mean to do that. We're going to go down here and place that here. So we're going to plot point F on the coordinate plane, and I'm going to write what its coordinates are right here. So being as it's the same as C, for the X coordinate, it's 3, and we said it's going to be the opposite sign as what C has. So for the Y coordinate, it will be that +5. Excellent. So now let's go back up here. So we're going to 3, and instead of -5, we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go the opposite way. So up here is our F. So right at that point right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so for the second part, we're looking at how far away are F and C. So what's the distance between those? So how far are they from the x-axis, each of them? Sorry, I missaid that. They're both 5 units. Excellent. So 5 units. It's supposed to be a T. There we go. All right. So now the next question is, what is the distance between F and C? Well, if F is 5 units from the x-axis and C is 5 units from the x-axis, then if we look back up here to count between these, if you're not sure, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they are 10 units apart. Being as they're opposites, we can take how far each one is from the x-axis to find the distance between the two. We just double that. So 2 times 5 gives us our 10 units. Excellent. Okay, our next question. Point G has the same coordinates as point E. So remember, E had the coordinates of, let me write it right over here. E was -5, +3. So E, except its x coordinate, has the opposite sign. So what's the opposite of a -5? +5. So for G, we're going to have a +5 and a +3. So we'll go back up there and plot +5, +3. So we started our origin always. We go over 5, and then we're going to go up 3. So right there is our point G. Excellent. All right, so now looking back down here, our next question is, how far away are G and E from the y-axis? So this is looking at our x values, remember. So how far are 5 and -5 from the, or sorry, how far are they from the y-axis? Yes, that's looking at our x-coordinates. Sorry, got myself confused there. So it's looking at our x-coordinates. So how far are 5 and -5 from the y-axis? They're both 5 units. Excellent. So 5 units. Perfect. And then, so what is the distance between G and E? Well, if we double our 5 units, because we have to go from +5 to the y-axis, and then from the y-axis, 5 more units to get to the -5, so that gives us 10 units. Excellent. Fantastic. All right, our next question. Point H has the same coordinates as point B, except both coordinates have the opposite sign. So remember, B was the point 4, -3. So what should the coordinate for H be? So switch the 4 to the opposite, we'd get -4. Switch the -3 to the opposite, we get a +3. Excellent. So we have the coordinate -4, 3. Now, it wants to know which quadrant is this point going to be in. So remember, look back up at our coordinate plane. So this quadrant here is the first quadrant. This is the second quadrant. This is the third. And this is the fourth. And we use Roman numerals to notate those. So if we're doing the point -4, +3 for H, which quadrant is it going to be in? Yeah, it's going to be in the second quadrant. Excellent. So quadrant 2. Fantastic. All right. The next thing that we're looking at here is we're going to label each of these coordinates. So finding what these coordinates all are. So looking at A, we're over, now it didn't line up perfectly on this one, so we're over -1 and about a half, so this will be -1.5. And then we go up to find what our y value is, and it's at 2. So A is the point -1.5, 2. Now looking at B, we're over here, so start at the origin, go over, we're at 3.5. So +3.5. And then we went up, also 2. Excellent. For C, we're also, it looks like, at 3.5. And then we're going down. So this time we're going down. So we're going to have a negative value. So 1, 2, 3. So it's 3.5 and -3. Then for D, looks like we just kept going down. So a -4.5 there. So it's right below C. So we know it's still going to be 3.5 for the X. And then a -4.5 for the Y. And last but not least, E. So we're over here. We go over -1.5 again. So just like A. And then for our Y value, we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So we're down at -4.5. Excellent. So we're going to use these coordinates to help us for the next part. So the next question asks us to find the distance between each of the following pairs of points. So between point B and C. So if we look back up here, B and C. So if we go down, we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are 5 units apart. So we can take and just count this. You can also take and use the coordinates to help you. So if we look back at the coordinates on B and C, B was at 2, C was at -3. The difference between those is 5. All right, the next one is B and D. So going back to our graph and looking at B and D. So B is up here at 2, D is down here at -4.5. So to go from -4.5 to the x-axis, that's 4.5, and then go 2 more, so that'd be a 6.5, so 6.5. So 6.5 units. Excellent. So now we have D and E. So D is over here, E is over here. So this time we're looking at our X values because we're moving horizontally rather than vertically. So E was at a -1.5, D was at 3.5. So to go from -1.5 to the to the y-axis, is 1.5, and then go 3.5 more. So 1.5 plus 3.5 gives us 5. Excellent. So this will also be 5 units. All right. For number 3, which of the points are 5 units from -1.5 and the point -1.5, -3? So if we go up here, the point -1.5, -3 is this point right here. So we need to figure out, let me make that a little bigger for you guys to see. This point right here. So we need to figure out what is 5 units from that. So if we go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have A is one of them. And if we go over looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A and C are our 2 points that are 5 units from, whoops, that's supposed to be a C, are from the point negative 1.5, -3. All right, same idea for number 4. We're looking at what 2 points, or which of the points are 2 units from 0.5 and negative 4.5. So go back up to the graph. So 0.5 is going to be on the positive side here, and negative 4.5, we're going to be right down here. So we want to figure out 2 units from this point. Well, D is more than 2, so C, but E is exactly 2. So this one is just E. Excellent. All right, for number 5, what we want to take and do is plot a point now that is both 2.5 units from A and 9 units from E, and label this point M. So if we're looking at this, we need to be 2.5 units from our A value, but 9 units from our E value. So in order to do this, we're going to keep it at the negative 1.5 for our coordinate, but I'm going to go up 2.5 units because E is down here at negative 4.5. If we add another 4.5 to the distance from E to the x-axis and then up, that's going to get us 9 units. And from here, going up 2, get our 2.5 from 2 to 4.5 gets us our 2.5. So this is point M right here, which has the coordinates negative 1.5, 4.5. Excellent. All right, so like I said to you guys, the keyword is distance because this is all about looking at distances between points on the coordinate plane, as well as taking and looking at distances between a point and the x-axis or a point in the y-axis and finding those different distances. Okay? All right, so remember, keyword is distance. Make sure you guys get this submitted on Canvas, and you do have 4 lessons this week. All righty? All right. Good luck and happy mathing.